Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Mole Trap here, coming at you with another Age of Empires commentary. This is the third and final game of the best of three of the OCE Weekly Tournament Finals between HuT and Seither. And it looks like we do have probably a situation where the winning player has to switch civilizations, because we do have Seither going ahead and changing it up to the Holy Roman Empire this time. I'm sorry, no. HuT playing Holy Roman Empire, Seither playing the English. So Seither is actually going to be playing the English over here, and HuT has switched to Holy Roman Empire. So apparently, even if you lose, you can still switch your civilization. So we're going to have a much different matchup than we had before. No one's going to be trying to go out hunting or anything like that. I'll try and give a little bit of a background of these two civilizations real quick. So the Holy Roman Empire focus a lot around these prelates, which are their religious units, which they can get very early on. Most civs don't get their religious unit until tier 3 or 2 or 3. And oh, what do we got going on here? We already have the scout running through, so he's spotted Seither's location. He knows what's going on there as the scout runs through, gathering some sheep. But neither player is in a rush to kill any animals this time, luckily. Luckily for the animals, I guess. But in any case, so they start with the ability to make a prelate. They're a little bit expensive. I believe they're 100 gold. Yeah, 100 gold. But what they do is they can inspire. They inspire villagers. Look at this. Gather 40% faster resources for 30 seconds. So if you put one of those, instead of building a worker, you actually want to build a prelate first, because then that prelate's going to give you much more intake than anything else by boosting the production of all of your early villagers in a location. And so that's going to be the main force for the early game here for the Holy Roman Empire. English on the other side over here don't have anything quite that like that, but the English are very strong early game civilization, especially with early men-at-arms. They get an early version of the men-at-arms. Is it actually called? I think it's called feudal men-at-arms. Early men-at-arms is actually the name of one of the units, I believe. But there's a version before that, even earlier than the early men-at-arms, which the English can get access to. So we'll see how that goes. And of course, the English also have the longbowmen, which are, basically every English game, like every game where there's English, they have longbowmen, right? A historical game, because it's just such an iconic feature of when people talk about the technology of the Middle Ages and in ways that England was able to do well. So they have the early longbowmen, and longbowmen are archers that have a better range and attack than the other tier 1 archers, or maybe you call it tier 2 archers, because the archery range comes in the tier 2 of the game, which is probably why we see a very early council hall, a military landmark, coming out here for Seither. He's going to go ahead and try and get those archers out as quickly as possible, because they are so difficult to deal with for most other civilizations. Pretty early tier 2 tech here as well for Seither. Now, oftentimes you will see the Holy Roman Empire try to get out, basically they can collect relics and bring them back and put them in their buildings and get money over time with that. So it's probably where we're seeing him tech up as well. In any case, so we're going to see an interesting situation where both players going for early tech, but again, HuT seems to probably be going for an economic play here. He's got a lot of sheep gathered up over here, but he's actually built this. This is interesting. He's built this mill over here to get these deer first. This is kind of close by. They're a little bit more vulnerable to attack, but deer actually gather faster than sheep, and so he's going for. And again, having that mill over here with the prelate boosting him meant that he got a lot of early food intake. So that's he's going to be probably doing a little bit better on his economy. Let's see, 17 economy, 17 workers for HuT. Seither at 18 actually. So maybe Seither just has a little bit better macro, but he seems to be consistently ahead in the worker count, but just by a little bit. I'm not insulting HuT's macro by any means. It's not even necessarily the case that he isn't good at macro. It just might be that he cut workers in order to try and get his age out sooner or something like that. But in any case, both players are going to be age 2 pretty soon here, and we'll probably see what happens from there. We've got some deer over near the town center for Seither as well. Again, these maps are usually they're randomly, pseudo-randomly generated, but they're usually pretty similar, and they have similar resources near the spawn point of each player. So, In any case, we'll see how this goes. There, by the way, this is kind of an interesting map. I haven't seen this before, actually. I've watched a lot of games, but I haven't seen this mountain range type feature, which is kind of interesting. Both players are backed up against a mountain range, so they kind of don't have to worry about attacks from the back, but they still have 3 broad sides to have people approach from. And here we have Seither coming in here with his longbowman. He's going to be looking to do some harassment exactly on these deer. He knows these deer are here. He knows that HuT is going to be trying to get some early advantage off of those deer, being able to gather them very quickly. His prelate is actually over here on... where'd it go? Okay, now he's over here, actually. I think. Is there a prelate? Where's the prelate? Don't see the prelate. Did the prelate go off to try and find a relic somewhere, maybe? Might have been what he's doing. I'm not sure. But in any case, the prelate was over here on these deer harvesting workers earlier and is no longer there. What is that? What just happened there? Did he? I think he was going to build a tower and he canceled it. I think that's what that is going on there. Seither was trying to do a little bit of an early rush, but then we have the outpost here from HuT, so he's going to be fine with just defending against that. So he's going to be able to protect his gold workers with that. Very common to see that when your workers get attacked, they can just jump off and make a defensive building in lieu of gathering for a minute to protect themselves a little bit. But if they're in that building, they're not gathering, so you kind of have to, it buys them time to defend with your normal army, but you can't do it forever, you know? So, by the way, this is the council hall that I mentioned earlier. This is going to produce longbowmen extremely fast. Extremely fast. I think they produce at like double time or something like that out of this council hall. So just having this building alone is the only production facility he really needs in this early game. He can put out so many longbowmen, and they're so strong. Where does it rally to? He's actually rallying them over to these deer to try and make sure that HuT cannot gather from those. But he's got plenty of sheep that he's not going to be too worried about that right now. The deer are a little bit faster than the sheep, but the sheep are still pretty good. But in any case, yeah, so this one production facility. Oh, he's sending a bowman around the back, all the way around the mountains. Wow, look at this. He's actually sent them all the way around this side. He's going to send them all the way around the mountains. This is a little bit of a risky play of sorts, because if he got counter harassed right now, there wouldn't really be much he could do, because all of his archers are kind of running around the map. They're nowhere near doing any damage to his opponent, or they're nowhere near saving him from any damage either. Although, again, he's got this council hall. He can get a few archers out pretty quickly at home if he needs to. But, you know, it's kind of, it's difficult to attack into an early English player, because they can get so many archers out. And so he might be saying, all right, well, he's not going to attack me. No one's that stupid. So I'm going to go ahead and do a long route attack him. And he's going to move some units around the back here. A little bit interested by that, because he also could have just run just down here and gotten to the same place a little bit quicker, but I don't know, maybe he just really want to make sure he didn't get scouted. Blacksmith going up, which is the building which you can buy some upgrades at, and it looks like it's just barely going to finish before these archers get within range to try and kill the worker that was building it. They are going to get that worker, maybe. Oh, a little bit of a stop fire there. He gets within range of the town center and takes some fire and has to fall back. So it looks like these archers went all the way around the entire map to basically not accomplish too much, is what we're looking at here. Seither on 30 economy, by the way. I have the feeling HuT probably has surpassed him at this point. Nope, 29. They're both the same again. So there you go. Both of the players playing on even terms right now. And again, HuT, no production facilities right now. Oh, I'm sorry. There's a stable right in the middle of my view. So he does have a stable. I'm just going to try and make some. Well, those are just scouts. What is he going to be making with this? We'll see. He can make horsemen. He can't make cavalry yet. So I guess he's just gotten those out. I mean, horsemen are basically what you need against the archers. He can get out spearmen, of course, eventually. But when it's only archers, horsemen are going to do decently well against them. But again, longbowmen are very strong. So unless you have a lot of them, it's really actually going to be difficult to engage with those archers. Can I do? I can. Control Shift A will select your entire army, and apparently all of your animals too. Wait, I just selected 5 sheep carcasses and 2 sheep by selecting all. Interesting. So you can do that in game when you're playing, but I guess I can do it as an observer as well and see that all he has is 4 scouts. That's his entire military. If we go back to Seither here, if we do Control-Shift-A, we're going to see he actually has 15 longbowmen, and that's all of his military as well, and 1 scout, I guess, as well. And only 2 sheep carcasses for him, but 5 herdable sheep, so there you go. And here he is coming in with those archers, and again, HuT just doesn't have anything really yet to deal with this. He's trying to rush for a quick third landmark to try and rush up to H3 with basically no military, and it looks like he's going to get punished for it. Looks like these workers are going to be able to finish it before they get all picked off. Their archers doing significant damage though, getting several kills. We can see HuT's economy reduced to 26 from about 30, so we lost a few workers in that. They are going to be able to retreat for a moment though, and get back out of the way. But this is the one, so relics placed within the cathedral generate 200% gold, holds 3 relics. So this is the one where if he had relics, he could put them in this cathedral and get a lot of gold. And what just happened here? Looked like he made a building and then canceled it. That was kind of weird animation though, because was that building there before? I don't know. In any case, so this is a very, very strong economic building, but you know, it's not going to help him against these archers, which have fallen back. Where did they go actually? I don't know where these archers went. Here they are. And look at this. They're going over. He's got 1 archer camped out on the relic. This is a very clever play. The relics, so you can see on the mini-map, by the way, are these little kind of brown totem type looking things. And so he once you run by them, you know where they are for the rest of the game. I'm actually not certain what happens when you pick them up. Oh, he's actually going to come in here and clear out. He has made some horsemen, and he was waiting for that tier 3. Now that he has tier 3, he's got these knights. Knights are so strong against the longbowmen, even though they're more powerful. Oh, and see, here we go. He's camping this other relic. Prelate came in here to try and grab it up so he could get in here and try and get some income. Was not able to be successful getting in there. The archers are going to try and do a significant damage there, and looks like they're not quite going to get him, but he's going to have to retreat. He's not going to get that relic. However, where's those horsemen? There they are. So the knights are extremely strong. Look at the armor on here. +5 versus ranged. +5 versus ranged. So even though these longbowmen, can I click on one? Even though longbowmen have 6 damage, which is actually, do they have increased damage? I don't remember if the English have increased damage. I know they have increased range though. I'll have to double check on that. But anyways, yeah. So knights are great for closing the distance, but with the extra armor as well. I selected a horseman. Where's the knight? Where's the knight? There's the knights. It's really hard to collect things in this game, especially when they're moving. There we go. I clicked the knight. There we go. 5 armor versus range. So basically, he's going to be taking 1 damage per shot from these longbowmen, which is virtually nothing with the amount of hit points these units have. The spearmen are another matter, though. He has to be worried about those spearmen. But these knights are a perfect counter to these longbowmen, which Seither has been spending a lot of time building up throughout this game. Let's see what else he's been making in the meantime, though. He's gone up to tier 3 now as well. Just looking around, he has built up these barracks in order to be able to get out those spearmen. He could theoretically make the man-at-arms as well. There we go. Vanguard man-at-arms. That's the ones I was thinking of. Oh, no, that's yeah. So, yeah, Vanguard man-at-arms are the ones he could have made earlier, but he's just been investing in the bowman, if I remember correctly. Again, apologies. Still pretty new at this game. I'm excited about it. I'm learning a lot. I'm enjoying casting it. Hope you guys are having fun watching this game, too. But I'm still learning things. The game's been out for just a couple weeks, so forgive me for not remembering every single detail of every unit yet. But in any case, regardless of that, the knights are going to be perfect against the bowmen, but now he's putting out these other units. He does have the tier 3 units, and this is a defensive landmark that will protect against, it actually fires against nearby units, but you can also use it as to build extra units as well. So he can build any of his units basically out of this that he already has access to. He can build more of his archers. At this point, though, he's going to probably want to switch over to crossbowmen. The crossbowmen are going to be doing extra damage against armored units, and so whereas the longbowmen will do 0 damage to the knights, the crossbowmen will do significant damage. They still have to worry about being closed on by the knights. The knights are still going to win in a front-to-front battle without any micro, but that's just something to keep in mind here. Anyways, knights are running around just looking for spare settlements, and actually, look, you can see Seither is thinking about trying to take this over. I'm not sure where the worker is that was going to do it. Maybe it's this one. Is that a worker? That's a longbowman. So he was thinking about trying to come over here and take these deer. That'd be a good strat to kind of get those remote deer kind of out of the way. Does this prelate have any? No. Prelate does not have anything. It looks like he was trying to get out and onto the map and gather a relic, but he doesn't have anything in him, anything yet. Where are the relics, actually? There's one left over here. Has he already put some in his cathedral? It looks like he has not put any in the cathedral. So it looks like Seither has been doing a good job of denying them, I believe. Does he actually? I don't know if he even has his own. Oh, a little bit of a skirmish here. Is this going to be the situation where he's going to be able to... Nope. They're both backing off here. Let's check Seither's units right now. Does he actually have... I don't see any religious units for Seither, actually. So I'm a little bit confused as to where these relics went that we saw on the map earlier. They're now gone from the main map. But Seither doesn't have any religious units to have taken them. They don't appear to be in the cathedral unless you have to hover over it in a different way in order to see where they are. I don't know. We'll figure it out later. But either way, that prelate was running around with no relic and no way to find a new relic either. There is a relic up here next to this market, but it's being guarded by this crossbowman. So again, a single prelate couldn't just wander over there and grab it. So let's check the situation right now. We've got 66 economy for Seither. Oh, that scout really got wrecked. 29 military. If we go over to HuT, we've got, whoa, 40 economy, 18 military. What is going on? HuT is way behind. I'm not exactly sure why. Did I miss a battle or something like that? I think he's just been focusing too hard on these tech buildings. And you can see that he has, in fact, spent a bunch of money to go up to age 4 already. And so that is significant. The age 4, let's see what this does. Palace of Swabia. Oh, yes. Acts as a town center, produces villagers faster. And, it's going to enable him to get a lot of economy. But he's behind like 15 villagers already, and he's behind on military as well. So he's basically, these landmarks cost a lot of resources, especially the final tier 4 landmark. And so that's why he's got less workers and less military, is because he spent an equivalent amount of money on this landmark. So I'm looking around like, how is he so far behind? But that's exactly why. Seither's looking to be just fine here on tier 3 though. English, by the way, do get bonuses on farming. So this is going to be good food income for him over here. Farms are the lowest gathering rate for food in general. They're kind of a last-ditch food effort if you can't get deer or something like that instead, or even berries. But for the English, it's not so bad because they get those bonuses. And actually, it looks like HuT still has some deer over here that he can keep harvesting. He's been working on his sheep and deer and these berries over here this whole time. He's going to have to resort to farms before too long, though, because we don't see anything too much around here. The closest other food, let's look on the mini-map. There's little icons for them. There's these deer up here. There's berries at the far back end of his opponent's base. And it's kind of funny that Seither actually built a little tiny wall back here just to make sure that HuT couldn't do the same thing. And I just heard some triumphant music going on, or some sort of music happening. There was a skirmish or something. I'm not sure what happened. Maybe it was just one of these workers dying to this longbow, but it might have been what the alert was about. But in any case, yeah, so now it's up to HuT to use this tier 4 situation to be in age 4 to get his economy going even faster. He's going to have to pump out a lot of workers if he's going to catch up to the economy of Seither right now. He does have the opportunity, but Seither getting out mangonels. These are the area of effect units that do significant damage to large masses of opponents' forces. But again, what forces does he have right now? He's got a handful of knights. He does have some elite men-at-arms, which I believe we can't, there's no way to click on them to find out where they are, so that's pretty cool. Not sure where they are right now, but they're somewhere on the map, I guess. They might be back at home, chilling, because they're not very mobile. In any case, mostly just venturing around with his, ooh, that horse got wrecked there as well. Mostly just venturing around with his knights here. He doesn't seem to be producing a lot of more knights at the moment. Is he producing? I wish there was a production tab. There's income. I guess we can go to the military tab. That's one way of like looking at what's going. But that's a cumulative thing. That's not actually telling us what the current military is. Player score doesn't really help. Okay, well, anyway. Wonder tracker. Oh, I guess there is a sacred. No, this just tells the number of sacred sites they have. So, Yeah, the tabs on this, not particularly helpful most of the time. For my purposes of observation, though, at least, maybe they're more... Maybe I'll figure out a way to use them better. Anyway, some knights coming in here in the back to do some harassment. A nice move here to try and attack this little side base to get some nice berry production down here. But they're driven for... Actually, the villagers are going to be driven off. They're being driven away. Now that they're out of range of this tower, they're going to run back towards it as well. He's just trying to buy a little time while the knights are there, but he needs to get some forces down there probably to deal with this. Okay, here we go. HuT going in here, trying to make some... rams. Now, it's kind of curious that he's doing it. He's got rams, but he's tier 4. He could make a siege workshop, and he could actually make some higher tech units. It might be that he doesn't have the perhaps the resources to build those since they're very expensive. He's got 1,300 gold, but that's like 2 siege units. Battering rams only cost wood, so he can make several of them, and they're going to do basically the same amount of damage if they can close ranks with the enemy buildings. So we'll see if that's exactly what he's going to try and accomplish here. Look at this. See, they're trying to cut the map. Not in half, but cut across the map and make sure that he controls some of these resources on this side, the gold mine and the deer over here, without any worry of harassment. Again, another little wall over here to make sure that he can't go around there either. Really curious to see if these rams can actually work out. He's got a lot of units inside them. Okay, the men-at-arms are inside the rams, ladies and gentlemen. You can garrison them inside. They can't fight. Like, even if they're archers, they can't shoot outwards or anything like that. But you can hide units inside so they don't take any damage from, like, these archers. And the mangonels, as they're coming in here, he's going to try and get in nice and close here. One of them is going to go down. He can re-garrison in one of the empty rams if he wants to. But the horsemen coming in, trying to get on top of the mangonels. Mangonels doing so much damage. And there's actually springalds in here as well, which are going to do extremely good damage against these horsemen. He just doesn't quite have enough. But all of the man-at-arms have broken out of the rams now. And they're now going to work onto the siege weapons. If he can kill off those mangonels, he should be able to win the fight against the archers that are left. The men-at-arms with huge amounts of armor are going to be very, very good against these longbowmen. But can he actually defeat all of the siege units? There's still one mangonel left. Absolutely devastating his army with just high damage, area of effect damage, and all of the men-at-arms just get absolutely demolished. And we might see GG right here, actually, because this is just an absolute slaughter. HuT going in, maybe not scouting, but definitely not expecting the springalds. Springalds, he had 4 or 5 of the springalds, and those are the exact perfect unit to counter the battering rams. They do extra damage against siege units. We can actually see here, plus 20 against siege, 80 damage against siege units, and so they do significant damage to the rams. Basically, they could have taken them out very quickly, and again, it's just a perfect counter here with these siege units. The mangonels doing perfect damage to the men-at-arms. Men-at-arms have a lot of armor, but guess what? 60 damage. I've clicked on a springald. Where's the mangonel? There we go. 12 damage. Okay, it's not as much, but it's still enough to break through most of the armor that the men-at-arms have. So it's I was like, wait, 60 damage? That can't be right. 60 damage AoE would be a little bit broken. Anyway, he's now marched across the chasm between their civilizations, and he is ready to stick the fight to HuT right now. HuT, in a desperate situation, is going to have to try and figure out a way to combat this. He's got a good squad of men-at-arms over here. This is actually really strong against those archers. If he can somehow get a few horsed mangonels are very, very low on hit points, and they're in the back. If he could reach some horsemen around the back or a springald to kill off those mangonels, he can go in with his man-at-arms and he can actually potentially fight this off. The archers will have a very difficult time kiting back away. He's kind of using these barracks to soak up damage. A few knights running around the back to try and go for some worker harassment as well. It's a nice thing to do. He's going to kind of use these elite men-at-arms to try and deal with that situation while he's trying to buy time. He does get around. He did kill the mangonels with the springald. The springald is being pursued by horsemen, but it's done its job. Now there's only archers and some infantry left. The men-at-arms are not going into battle right now. He was chasing the horses over here, so he's not actually getting in here. He's lost a couple barracks. He still has a couple left. He can still keep producing more at this point if he wants to. But he's in dire straits right now, starting to lose these barracks. The barracks are his main production facilities right now. He's already lost half of them. He needs to go in pretty quickly, I think, win these men-at-arms, but he's also holding back because I think he knows that he doesn't quite have enough. The Springalds are actually very good against the men-at-arms too, and it's going to be hard to close the distance. Here we go. His Springalds coming back here. He's got a couple here. He may be wanting to try to, again, just buy time with the hit points of his buildings. He loses all of his barracks. It's not the end of the game. Even if he loses this large cathedral, it's not the end of the game. If he can buy time by letting all these buildings soak up damage while he gets units out, it is not impossible to come back in a situation like this, ladies and gentlemen. It's getting close to impossible. He's now charging into the main. The archers are just kind of doing pick-off damage. They don't do much damage against buildings, but they are there to defend his horsemen against any other units that come in to try and attack them. He went in on the command center, the town center, to try and do some damage there. And again, just killing off workers and slowly, steadily gaining edge. And actually, Seither's going to fall back here a little bit. Not sure exactly what is why he's falling back. He is winning this situation. He might be worried about these Springalds coming in here on the side. Okay, finally we have an engagement here, ladies and gentlemen. He's actually spaced out his archer, is encased of enemy AoE fire, and he's actually going to build his H4 landmark, which is actually, it makes sense to build it here. It's a defensive structure which will fire at his enemies. Building it in the battle zone, which means if he can defend this location long enough for that to be completed, then there'll be no way for HuT to come back. It looks like there's no way for HuT to come back at this point anyways, because all of his units are in shambles. He's built a nice mangonel here to try and do some damage to these archers, which are spread out in preparation for that situation. But it looks like, oh, he actually has a good squad of Springalds up here on the top. He's going to be able to pick off knights pretty quickly with that, but it just might not be enough. There's nothing to protect them. Only a few men-at-arms to protect them. These knights are going to be able to get on top of those and kill off the Springalds. I think this is going to be over pretty soon here. And again, once this palace comes up, the Berkshire Palace comes up, he's going to secure this location. And there's just no way to break these archers now with the palace actually defending them. They can even run into the palace and be defended there if they want to. Look at this. Without anything inside it, it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bow attacks, very strong bow attacks with an extremely large range. So this structure itself can basically take out the rest of HuT's town. So HuT desperately trying to mount the defensive here with his man-at-arms coming in here to try and soak up damage. If he take out these rams, he'll at least save his town center, which is kind of his main thing he's got going on for him right now. He's forced back the rams at least, so they're not killing his town center. Again, these buildings in front are maybe not the most important things, but again, this is just such a dire situation. Seither has gone up to H4 with this as well, and that means he's going to be able to produce from this building. He's going to be able to produce, hypothetically, if he can get the capability of building them, he's going to be able to produce these high-tier, basically super badass siege units. If you get bombards and such, he's gonna be able to kill these buildings extremely quickly, much faster than the rams even. So it's just a matter of time here, I think. But you gotta hand it to HuT. He's fighting in the last game of the last match of this tournament, trying with all his might to defend, and finally realizing there's nothing left that he can do. Giving the GG, and what an amazing set, guys. Well done by Seither, well done by HuT as well, but too much macro for him to deal with. Again, check out HuT on Twitch, though. I'll leave a link in this description, and thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. GG.